Welcome back to the Bill Yohnka Show. I'm Bill Yohnka, joined by a whole cast of characters. The Kankakee Radio Players joining me now for this week's edition of As the Clod Turns. Bringing in some new players this week. This is exciting. Let's not let people wait or make them wait. Let's do it. Well, it is time once again for the only daytime serial based at a farmer's market that features shopping carts. The story of passion, produce, love, asparagus, drama, and walking tacos. Not necessarily in that order. Today, we find Lois Little, part-time librarian and one-time fourth-grade hall monitor. She's speaking with Colt Remington, Beaverville truck farmer and former FFA dropout. Let's listen in.
Good morning, Colt.
Oh, hi, Lois.
Isn't it a beautiful day? Isn't it?
I suppose.
Well, aren't you a ray of sunshine?
I'm sorry, Lois. I was up all night with some sick plants.
Okay, normally I would use that as my entree into your special world and ask for more details, but I'm not going to do that today. I have some shopping to do. I'll talk to you later.
Well,
now, right here is where we would use walking on concrete sound effects if we had them, but we don't. So I'll just ask you to use your imagination and imagine Lois walking. Okay? Now, see her walking up to the cheese guy. A customer is just leaving, and we hear the cheese guy say,
"Try that with a sweet red wine. It should be perfect that way. Enjoy. How may I be of service to you, young lady?"
Well, actually, I have heard a lot about you, and I wanted to come over and meet you and see what kind of special cheeses you had today.
I thought I'd seen you here before. Don't you usually spend time over at Colt Remington's booth?
Yes, Colt and I are friends.
You know him pretty well?
I guess you could say that.
Well, maybe you could tell me, is he really as dumb as people say?
I'm not sure. If he's just playing dumb, he deserves an Oscar. Do you make curds today?
Yes, I do. We have the regular curds and the flavored ones with dill and garlic. Do you like curds?
Well, I don't know much about them, but Bill Yohnka likes them. He says they kind of squeak when you bite them.
Yeah, Bill likes them fried too, but they tell me that's a Yohnka thing. Let me tell you all about the cheese curd. Well, you see, the cheese curds are the parts that when they're making the cheddar, that they kind of scrape off the top. It's kind of the flotsam and jetsam of the cheese, but they're perfectly fine to eat. No use throwing it away. Let me tell you about some other ones. Curds are, although they're good, they're a little boring. Let me tell you about some finer cheeses, part of the Wisconsin Renaissance movement. Particularly my favorite, Pleasant Ridge Reserve. It's a farmstead cheese up there. And the unique thing about this cheese is that they only use the summer milk from one single herd of cows. And they do this because in the rolling pastures, the clover and the herbs in the pasture are in full bloom. So when they use that milk, it sort of affects the flavor. I could go all on and on and on about this. Let me tell you about some more.
Boy, you do know your cheese, don't you?
I do. Let me tell you about aging as well.
Maybe next week. I'd like a pound of the regular curds.
Okay. Here you go.
well, now that the money is exchanged, there's no sound effect for that. And then Lois begins to walk back toward Colt's booth. Imagine those footsteps again, won't you? Lois walks up to Colt and says,
"Well, I finally met the cheese guy."
Oh, you did? Was it like I said?
Yes, once you get him started talking about cheese, he'll talk your ear off.
See? I told you. But you didn't believe me. You had to find out for yourself. Now you know.
He really knows his cheese, though.
No doubt. If you have any questions about cheese, he's the guy to ask, that's for sure.
And by the way, he thinks you're not too bright.
Really? Can I have some curds?
Well, what have we learned here today? The cheese guy really knows his stuff. Lois has to find out things for herself. And Colt may actually be a dunce. It's been a full day, hasn't it? Tune in next week when we hear Colt Remington say,
"Hey, they are squeaky."
That's next week on As the Clod Turns here at the Farmers Market, the absolutely the only radio drama based at a farmer's market with shopping carts.
Let's hear it for Nick.
Oh, that's great.
The cheese guy.
Great performance. Radio players. He had it. You know, the folks at home can't appreciate this, but he had a great ad lib when he was talking about the curds. The script says dill, but he threw in dill and garlic. He threw in the garlic.
They are. They truly are garlic and dill.
We had some here earlier.
Yeah, they are garlic and dill. That's, but
you couldn't resist adding that.
As if you couldn't smell it on my breath. This morning, they are really garlic and dill. Hey, we've got another new segment, and there's Brad Joubert still running. He's been running since like 6:45.
Save it for the Kilbride run.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Cheese guy
Nick.
Heading back to the cheese booth.
He's
Running,
dressed.
He is a
actually.
backup
Sprinting.
cheese guy. He's a backup
Sprinting.
cheese guy.
He's very European.
Very nice looking, that backup cheese
Well,
guy.
now, careful.
Okay.
Colt's not going to want to hear that.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with our race report after this, and we've got our new segment all about Carl here on Talk AM 1320 WKAN.